Hola.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
As you can see, the Golden Girls are here. I'm Blanche. Next to me is Rose.
I'm Rose.
Below me is Sophia. And
Hello.
cat a corner to me is Dorothy. So
there you go. Yeah, Thomas says we had to pick who we were, and we couldn't all be Blanche. So
that's right. And since I'm the Southerner, I won Blanche. It kind of just goes without saying, you know.
I mean,
well, yeah.
I love the fact that she's the devil in the deck.
oh, is she really?
Yes.
She's the one who has.
And it's a picture of her with this over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Shitty grin, you know, like, yeah, I got you. It's like, oh, that's perfect.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay, good. They're starting to drop the notifications.
Yes, notices.
Marina's just came up.
Hey, Sherry. I'm Sophia.
Hey, Sherry.
Who'd have guessed? Picture
Who'da
Sicily,
guessed?
1947.
Hello, everybody who's here. We've got Ms. Terrell D. We've got Marina. We've got Thomas and Rossi. And we got Marina again. And we got Sherry. And we've got Teresa. And we've got Sherry again. And we've got Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
And I asked her, how do you say your name so I could pronounce it correctly? And she said Sherry, like the drink, like the liquor. So
yeah.
And Joyful Journey and Janet P. And Val is here.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
So I like to try to ask.
He's following you, Val.
Okay, Gerald. I'm surprised you have any time because you have 200 shows a day. So I'm just impressed.
Hi, Fleck. Hi, Colleen. And hi, Teresa. Hugs to you. And Lisa. And okay, I think that's everybody
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, that's for now. Absolutely.
Yay.
Yay.
So, all right. What do we want to talk about tonight?
Ooh.
There's so much going on. It's not like the news isn't busy. I mean, you know.
There's so much.
You know what? I want to talk
happening.
about how some people just have a hard time adulting all day. And sometimes they just have to give in to their inner child.
It's been a hard day today, adulting. So
Being an adult sucks.
Yes, it does.
The only good thing about being an adult is you can drink legally.
Yes.
Spoken by someone who doesn't drink.
yeah, right.
Once in a blue moon, I have a drink, but that's about it. Oh my goodness.
So
Well,
are
Mel
we,
and Kevin must be
talking
done because I see Lisa's here. And,
are we talking politics today, or we'd have a different subject today?
We'll talk politics.
We'll talk
'cause,
about,
I mean, why not? It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Really?
and giving and giving and giving.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we got the report back on Santos, which proved everything that he's been accused of was true.
Yep.
And then some.
Yeah.
But do the
Hands up those
Republicans
who were
get rid of
shocked.
him? No, they do not. They still keep him.
Oh my gosh, Hypnicity says we just had an earthquake in Western Washington, 3.5.
What?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna say
wow. Are you okay? I mean, 3.5, I don't know.
Yeah, that wouldn't do. That's not
Okay, I don't know what that means. So
I'm in Western
3.5
Washington.
is just
I
a
didn't
little
feel a
tremble of
thing.
the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay,
still,
that
the
would be
ground
like
moved.
a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 hurricane whip through. You just kind of blink and go, oh, yeah, okay, get the umbrella. Make sure you hold it the right way so it doesn't go backwards.
Yes.
I'm not very good with earthquakes. I'm not sure how that ranking goes.
I'm a Californian. Ask me about earthquakes. It's not 3.5 is a super minor, but who knows what might come next? You never know. So it's just,
this is true.
Pay attention to them as they come in. Yeah.
It's like a real rip-roaring thunderstorm that you're really digging out on. Good lightning show. But you forget that those kind of storms tend to bring tornadoes with them.
There you go.
So Hippin City, what part of Western Washington are you at?
Where are you at, Hypnicity?
And Thomas says, how many times can we bury our mother? The world is waiting, Mr. Santa.
Oh my God.
You know, that's like really bad karma if your mother's still alive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Oh man.
I'd say.
Oh my goodness.
I'd say.
Hypnicity is saying Mother Earth is letting off steam.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is true, Hypnicity. That is true.
Where are you at, Hypnicity? What part of Western Washington? I'm assuming you're saying Washington State and not Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, it occurred in
Stanwood?
Stanwood.
Okay,
Oh, well,
50 miles north of Seattle.
Okay.
that's
Okay.
getting close for me. I didn't feel it, but I'm kind of like getting into the general area of it. And if you all of a sudden you see me moving like this, it means
Oh, really?
the table.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Now we
Hi,
know.
Kathy. Hi, Rose.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. So, yeah, I guess if we see Cleo start, if we see Dorothy start shooting across the room. Well, no,
Yeah, can you just show your cards before you go?
Yeah, just
Yeah, try not to break the flow.
I will never forget that big one that hit during the World Series. What was it, the late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah.
Because my husband was baseball fanatic. I mean, the man kept his own stats on every player, on every team, in every league, every year.
Wow.
I would go buy these big, thick notebooks, and he could answer any baseball question in the world going back to the dawn of time. You could ask him a question, he knew the answer. Boom. It was eerie. Just that he loved baseball. And so we were all set up, getting ready for the World Series to start, and, you know, getting our popcorn and, you know, whatnot, and getting ready to sit down and watch the game. And announcers are talking, and all of a sudden everything starts doing this number, and he's like, "What's wrong with the TV?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then you hear the announcer say, "I think we're having an earthquake." And then no picture. And we were both like, "What? What did he say?"
Yeah, and I was on the Benicia Bridge
Oh my
while
God.
it was going, and I was saying, okay, dear God, don't let this be the big one.
Yeah.
Really.
Hi, Sylvia. Hi,
I'm
Debbie.
driving, and it's like you have 4 flat tires because the bridge is built to sway a little. And it's like doing this, and
Oh my
the
God.
car's trying to drive. It was scary.
Oh,
God.
Well, I remember when the first overhead camera shots started hitting the news.
Yeah.
And okay, the freeway fell down. What's the big deal? It wasn't until a good hour into it that we found out it was a double-decker freeway. And that was the top level down on top of the bottom level. And we were like, oh my God, you know.
That was
Because we had no clue. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have double-decker freeways where I'm from. It
yeah.
just doesn't exist.
yeah.
Yeah. We have double deckers.
So yeah, that was, and ever since then, when I moved out west, the few times I went to California, they have a few, you know, quite a few of those types of freeways. I would refuse to drive on one. I was like, nope, I'll go around. I'll find another route, but I'm not getting on that bottom one. There's a top one, but no, not doing it.
It's a kind of creepy feeling. And in the Bay Area, there's lots of freeways
Yes.
Yeah.
that are like that. And the freeways just collapsed during that event. And people were trapped, hundreds and hundreds of cars for miles.
Yeah.
In the
And they said it would have been,
Bay Area.
I remember they said it would have been a million times worse if it hadn't have been for the fact that the World Series was
Correct.
playing there.
Yeah.
And all those the majority of the people that would have been
Were
on
off
the
the road.
freeways were
Yeah.
already at the stadium.
And I remember having my radio on, and the only thing that on in the Bay Area, of course, is the game.
Right.
And what was
Well, of course.
playing, and then I go, and they're talking about the earthquake. Well, it's happening, and I'm like, oh, God. And
Lord,
I'm on
get
the
off this
bridge.
thing.
So
I remember seeing cars go off the Golden Gate Bridge. Just thinking, oh my God.
Yeah.
That just tripped me out. And
Yeah. It's enough
I've
to
been
trip anyone
scared
out.
to go to San Francisco ever since.
Well, I know
I
all
worked.
my-
I
all-
worked in San Francisco.
Go ahead, Val.
I worked in San Francisco. I'm like, it was, yeah. I
Well,
worked in San Francisco when there was 9/11, and I was in San Francisco, and some of my psychic friends were saying, we stayed home because there was supposed to be something hitting San Francisco too, but it was stopped apparently, and nobody ever found or talked about it. Something where that person who was going to be a pilot didn't get to where they needed to be to do what they were going to do. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I bet you there was a lot of those.
yeah,
And
I
they
bet
just
you there
faded
were.
into the background.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they
Not
faded into the
true.
background, and no one ever really knew about
Well,
it.
I know I had flown for the first time in ages the weekend before, which was Labor Day weekend. And I had just joined my first pyramid scheme home business. I didn't realize that's what it was at the time. And they had this big conference at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville. And so I was all excited. So I bought my ticket. I got my hotel. It's like, I'm going to go to this conference and meet all these people and learn something, right? No.
Be a millionaire overnight.
I had to be a millionaire overnight. And I had flown, and of course we've got a little small airport here in our city, just a small one. And I remember when I got to the airport to go check in to go fly to Nashville, and I got there and I walked up to the desk and they were like, name, and I gave them my name and they were like, do. Okay, here's your ticket, go. And it was like, nobody checked me, nobody asked for an ID or anything to show that I was who I said I was. And when I got to Nashville, it was the same thing. When I left there to come back, no questions, no ID, no, you need to prove who you are. Just tell them your name and they gave you a ticket. You get on the plane. And I remember when I got home telling everybody, I can't believe they didn't. I mean, anybody could have took my ticket and got on as me and no one would have known the difference. I mean, I was thinking of it in terms of getting ripped off for my ticket. And then the following weekend, all hell breaks loose, and it was like, oh my God, it could have been so much worse. And all I could think about was I was damn glad I was back home and not stranded in Nashville, Tennessee.
But I have to say the funniest thing about that story, though, I mean, it's a serious story, but that you call them, what did you say they were? Scams?
The first pyramid scheme home business.
But you say it straight face, like,
Yeah.
and
That's exactly what it was. A nutrition company, where you buy all of these nutritional products.
Oh my God.
And they were more concerned with teaching you
Yeah.
how to get more people under you,
Of
more people.
course,
Yeah.
but that's a pyramid
Because
scheme.
that's the pyramid scheme. That's how they make the money. As opposed
But you
to
said it was your first, so they'll be your second.
no, it was only the one. I learned my lesson the hard way. I only did it once. I almost got sucked in a couple of times after the fact.
Oh
but
my God.
I
that's
was
funny.
like, so are you pushing the product or are you pushing
Yeah,
the
they do care about
business?
that. That's the whole
Yes.
thing. So the people
Yeah.
at the top will get rich, and all of the worker bees are down here at
Yeah.
the base.
Busting our asses. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
didn't take long for me to wake up to that. So anyway, let's back up here. Oh wow. Where did they go? Chat. Damn it. Chat keeps jumping. Hypnocity said, I dreamed my mom was a helper angel on 9/11. She died in 2000.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she
Oh
was.
my goodness.
Uh,
And and I was so happy that my husband had already passed before that happened, because that would have just been,
Yeah.
that
wow.
would have devastated him.
Rossi is telling a story that so many people are telling, all the synchronicities that happened when certain people didn't end up being in the middle of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were steered away from it.
Yeah, I was in my last semester at college, and it had taken 4 semesters on a waiting list to take one sociology class that I had left to take. And the name of the class was Death and Dying.
Oh,
And it was all about how different cultures deal with death, dying,
yeah.
funerals, the whole bit. It was a great class. 9/11 happened. We all showed up to class as the teacher was putting a note on the door saying class canceled.
Yeah.
We're like, why are you canceling the class? And she said, well, I didn't think anybody would want to come to class after what happened. And we're like, that's what this class is for, is to deal with what just happened.
Right.
And so she was like, okay, if y'all want to do class, let's do class. And so everybody's talking about it. Well, one young girl, young Black girl that was in the class, she came in a few minutes late and just pale as a sheet. And we were like, oh my God, what happened? And she says, my twin sister worked in the second tower, the second one that got hit.
Yeah.
That fortunately, their office, where they were located, faced the other building.
So she could see what was going on.
They saw the plane go into the first building. They watched it happen. And their supervisor was like, get out, get your stuff. Everybody get out now.
Yeah.
Even though they were on the loudspeaker telling people, stay in your office.
Yeah, get
out. And the supervisor was like, no, we're getting the hell out. Get your stuff. Let's go. They got out of the building, and they were about 3 blocks down when the second plane hit.
Oh, man.
About 5 floors below where they went out. So she never would have gotten out if they had not left before. And she was on the phone with their grandmother who had raised them to tell her grandmother, we don't know what's going on. A plane flew into one of the buildings, but we're out. We're walking to somebody's house, and we'll get back in touch. Boom, the second building got hit. And her twin sister showed up for class and was like, I came this close to losing
your sister,
because they were very close. And I think it really really brought it home to everybody in that day, because, we all knew people that lived in the area, this, that, the other, or we had been to that area. But
even to me, who didn't have anybody involved, I was here on the West Coast in San Francisco, and I felt so vulnerable, like this had happened to me and my people. It made you feel like you aren't safe. It made you feel like this could happen anywhere to anyone.
Well, especially on the West Coast, and what's to say it was supposed to just stay on the East Coast? There was threats all over the place.
There were, and San Francisco was apparently one of them, like I mentioned. And there I was sitting at work in one of those towers.
I found out later that so was our area down here, especially closer to New Orleans, because of the ports.
Yes, they had more targets.
They were trying to figure out how to get in and hit the ports, so they could.
Some of them weren't successful, right?
Yeah, because once they got Junior on the plane to keep him in constant motion so they couldn't find him, at one point they landed in Louisiana to gas up and maybe stay there, and the people in Louisiana are like, nope, get your gas and go. We don't want you here. And shoot him on his merry little way. But that was a memory there. Boy, howdy. Watch that 24/7 for the next 6 months. That's all you could see on TV. So
Thanks, Roxy, who says, love the Golden Girls theme.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. And we even, I don't know if any others have them yet, we even have Golden Girls cards.
It's all Marina. Marina thought this up.
yeah.
Yep, that's it. That's it. It's
I
her
can
fault. You can
I
blame
can come
her.
up with the ideas.
She's our ideal girl, and
Yeah.
I'm the one that puts it into action.
Yep.
I got
Yeah.
a call this evening when I got home from work from Mel, Auntie Mel, our Aloha shirt psychic.
Yeah.
He just hit 20,000 subscribers, and he's like,
Wow.
I want to have a 20K party, and you're the girl to do the party. So what are we going to do? I'll pay you. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to take your money. I don't want your money.
Yeah.
Well, you are a good party planner.
I
Yeah.
like the party.
I
What
mean,
can I
You
say?
get it together. You have all the connections.
I try. I told Mel, I said, I'll make my list and I'll send it to you. And whoever's missing, just add it to the list. And then that way, when I send out emails, and I got to get in touch with Aiden this week because he's going to help me with it. So
Yeah.
we'll see what's going to happen. But I've been able to shirt out of the deal. I wouldn't let him pay me. And then when he was telling me the gifts he was going to give away, and he was talking about doing his Aloha shirts.
Yeah.
I said, well, damn, I should have negotiated for a shirt. He's like, you want a shirt? You can have a shirt. Absolutely, you can have a shirt.
Oh,
I'm like,
Nice.
awesome. So you're paying me in a shirt. That's great.
I've
I
always liked the Aloha
love to do
shirts.
it.
I even get my husband the Aloha shirts because they make me feel so good.
They
Because I love
do.
Hawaii. They do. I love to see them on men, and I just enjoy that whole
Yeah.
ambiance.
Yeah.
of it.
Oh yeah. I used to have some great Hawaiian shirts that just kind of fell apart over the years because I wore the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And,
Roxy likes me as Rose, who is the ditzy, the naive.
except she's a redhead. She's not a blonde, so we have to make a little bit of concession here. Yeah.
You have to.
And since Cleo
Okay.
tends to be so acerbic with everything, we figured Dorothy just fit right in.
Yeah, that's right.
All righty.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so what are we going to read on? We're going to read on not DeSantis. Santos.
Santos. Is Santos going to go? Because they're saying there's no way he's ever going to get because of
Oh,
the
he
fraud.
said today he wasn't going to run again.
Is he really going to is he going to get taken out before his
It's
time is up?
amazing
term
that
is
he
up?
has stayed in there. It's just, they had an opportunity to do something and they didn't. They were like, oh,
I know.
I kind of entertaining, that
Yeah.
what can he lie about now? But-
Exactly.
If George Santos had a D in brackets behind his name, he'd have been gone so fast you would have thought
He
they
would
did it.
never have made it in to begin with.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the D's tend to vet their
Yes.
candidates before they elect them.
Yes. Okay.
Goodness.
Oh my goodness.
So I
Expelled
get
or
the feeling
Brazil
he's gonna be gone here fairly
Yeah.
soon, but I this thing with the Republicans, when I'm trying to get an answer about what from my spirit guides about this, it's just kind of like it's just this wavering thing, and like, yeah, no, he's gone. No, wait, no, wait.
Yeah.
Even they were
Right.
trying to read the energy.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah. Well, I pulled from the Visions in the Liminal Space deck, and it's funny. I got let your edges be liquid. So kind of go with the flow.
yeah.
And what we're going to get is an answer, but not a solution. Because, there's someone who's going to try to figure out what the next right thing is.
Yeah.
So is he going to be gone? Chances are, they're going to toss him because he's damaged goods now, right? He's no really doesn't do a lot of good for them. But is this going to stop people like him? No.
Absolutely. And, I got some master planners figuring it out. And the darn thing is a big circus. When they figure out what the tune is, there's going to be one big sucker punch. And to the moon, Alice. To the moon.
To the moon. Yeah.
So,
well, I got temperance to start with because it's something I guess we're all going to have to kind of show a little bit as we work our way through this. And then the Queen of Pentacles, because they're not getting rid of them because they still think they got more they can get out of them. Gotta wring that sucker dry, get every penny they
squeeze
can.
all the juice out.
That's it. Ending with the Page of Cups. So it's just going to be a lot of paperwork that's going to come forward. That's going to bring up a lot of emotions. Probably from him for getting caught.
Well, I think they just keep him in there for entertainment value. He's just so worthless, and it's just amazing that he's still in there. But he's walking around going, "I'm here for my people." I'm like, what are you talking about?
Your people are not here. We can't see your people.
Exactly.
Right? They're with your mom.
I want to say hi to Tanis.
Yes, he can.
Was that Rose's question
For
we
the
just did?
community.
The one that was, will he be expelled or arrested? Which comes first?
Well, we can do that too. Is he expelled or arrested?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the one that Marina sent me. I didn't have any questions under my thingamabob.
Okay, I'm going to use the fortune-telling cards.
Somebody said that they're trying to put him in a position where he will just bow out, but that does not seem to be working out very well.
Not very well, right?
No. If he has not bowed out until now, I mean, he's okay. Entertainment purposes only. I understand that. He is a liar. It's what they do. They lie, they steal. Do not expect him to all of a sudden develop a conscience and say, "Oh, I have found my North Star. I now know what I did wrong." No.
I found Jesus.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's not going to step down. So they'll either have to kick him out or arrest him. I would love it if they finally arrested him, because I've kind of felt like the Republicans were keeping him in there just to watch him dig himself in deeper, and also a distraction from the nonsense that they're doing. So he's just a distraction.
And he's
using him as a shield. Yeah. Go ahead, Val.
No, you were right. Go ahead. I love it.
They're using him as a shield.
Yeah.
Because they're as big a thieves as he is. And they're trying to run and get away.
Yeah.
So they can go to their magical island and have their money, and hopefully nobody does time. But it's very much squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. And until they reach a plateau, that naked, exposed man is going to put a mirror on the party, and they're not going to like it. They're going to toss him in the hot springs to fry.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, so I used this fortune-telling cards that I bought at Winners, like TJ Maxx for those of you down south. Okay. And they're just playful. I don't think that anyone really meant for them to be technical, but okay. So I said, I need to know, is George Santos going to be expelled or is he going to be arrested? And the two cards that came out, the first one is "You shall not." And the next one, "Depends on the day."
That's right. What Cleo's guide say. Well, yeah, no, yeah,
no. yeah, but, no, but, yeah. Yeah, so probably won't be expelled. And is he going to be arrested? Yes, it just depends on the day.
Yes, apparently it does.
Out of the mouth of babes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. Do we have any other?
Flex says he's a bad drag queen, so I have no use for him. I know. I know.
Isn't that the truth? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
He's out on bond
He's out on bond, but they may
He's out on
arrest him for
bond,
new
yeah.
crimes.
for new crimes, just like Trump. Oh,
And yeah, Linda, you're waiting for the day they all go to prison. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where it's like, I'll believe it when I see it. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you're going to
Yeah.
do. And then I'll believe you're going to do something.
Yeah.
They need to adjust the rules within the House or Senate, any of those places where when somebody has committed a crime or is on bond out because he doesn't want to be in jail, those people should be forced to remove themselves from anything that has to do with our government
For sure.
in any office whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If that's the case, when you're, you're working for a large corporation and all of a sudden something comes up, whatever, you're gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
okay.
gone. HR will walk you out the door and say, listen, you can come back when you get all this straightened out. But until then, bye.
We do not have
Like,
you anywhere near the secret sauce at that point.
Like,
Yeah.
Well,
like
and
that, how are the prisons
Rossi
in
says,
Brazil?
here we go. Rossi says he lied and the Republicans didn't care. Duh.
Yeah.
That's what the Republicans are all about. It's just one big lie, one big
That's
game.
their MO. That's their method of operation. That's
Yes,
in
they're
their
looking around like
job
he didn't do
description.
anything. What do you mean he lied? Oh, well, that's what we all do.
Yeah. It's a requirement.
You
Yes,
have
It's a requirement.
it's in your resume.
Yeah.
If the city wants to know how some of these people get voted in anyway, it's called people not voting.
Yeah.
How do you think we wound up after 8 years of a Democratic governor in our state? We now have one of the top Trump lickers in the country as our new governor. I
And you
can't
know
say
what?
the word I would like to say.
They pulled the magic. They are in bed together. And, this is what's going to end up happening. But this is how they get in there. How are some of those people voted in? It's all smoke and mirrors
Yeah.
and agreements under the table.
Yeah.
Think
And
about it.
they convince you that your vote doesn't matter,
Yeah.
that this John Doe has already won. He's so far ahead in the polls, no one can ever get to him. And so, regular people sit back and go, well, then why bother?
Yeah, they do.
Right? So
We had
you got to
just had
remember,
our
it's
governor's
the smart
election.
people that need to vote, while it's the Republicans who show up to vote.
Right.
Correct.
Well, it was just a month ago we had our governor's election, and it was the worst voter turnout in decades.
Yeah.
Not one decade, but in multiple decades, if that's how bad it was.
That's
And
bad.
so the guy that won was the Republican that had the money to run the ads. It was media saturation,
Yeah.
TV, radio, internet, whatever you turned on, all you saw was this man's face and his ads.
Really.
While the state Democratic Party didn't do diddly squat for our candidate.
For sure. For sure.
Didn't cough up the money for him to counter with ads. I mean, most of the people didn't even know there was a Democrat running.
Yeah.
All they knew was the one who won. That was the only one they knew was running. Because that's the only one whose ads they saw.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, now, Foxy Roxy on here says, what happened to truth, integrity, and decency?
Mhm.
They died with
We
John
call that
McCain.
4 years of the Trump administration.
Yeah.
That's what happened to it.
That's exactly right, Cleo. Absolutely. Foxy Roxy says, and they cheat. And I just want to cite for entertainment purposes only, look at Kentucky. Look at Mitch McConnell being kept where he is, voted in. They HAT him. They don't like him there. But year after, or term after term, rather, he gets voted in. Well, you know, something isn't going right in their voting system within that little.
His last term that he was elected, he won by more votes than was registered in his state.
Thank you very much for confirming.
Why was this not brought up and
What
investigated?
I, Rose, have said.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And
I remember
yeah,
reading
Rossi
that.
said, why
like,
did
the day after
McCarthy
elections.
elbow his fellow GOP?
Thank you.
Why?
There you go.
Because that was one of the 8 GOP members who voted against him.
That's correct.
And rather than take things
Because
like
they're
a man,
travelers.
he decided to react as a child. He hit the man in the where his kidney was, almost doubled him over.
It's hard to do adulting when you're a Republican right now in the
Well, you
House
have to
Senate.
remember, they spent 50 plus years of dumbing down the electorate by screwing with our education system.
Yes, thank you.
Because the dumber people are, the easier it is to control them.
Correct.
Yeah.
You
so
have
you
said
tell
it.
them a bunch of horse hockey and people believe it.
Correct.
And they don't have the means or the intelligence to look it up or even how to look it up. We have the freaking internet. We didn't have this 50 years ago. You would have to go to a library or the clerk of court office or the newspapers to look up information on people. Here, it takes you all of 30 seconds to type in the name and your question, and it's all right there. But
you know, Blanche, I appreciate what you're saying about that, because that is a big problem as far as people just they don't want to take the effort to look into it. If they believe something and somebody says something that fits in with what their belief system is, then they're like, yeah, that's what they're going for. So people are just getting lazy. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because everybody needs to, if you see something that doesn't seem right, you should research it and kind of find out what's really going on. Because what we found, and this came up in some other shows that we have done, where people just don't. You read the headline, but if you've got to, don't just read the headline. Go into the story and find out that a lot of times the headline and the story, two different things. It does not apply.
Headline doesn't have anything to do with it. It's a clickbait. And then you read down here and it's a nothing story, fluff material that has no basis.
Or it's a story about a totally different topic.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or the exact opposite of what the headline. I mean, I've clicked on headlines thinking, oh my God, they found this out.
Exactly.
To discover that the story is the exact opposite of what the headline says.
Yeah, it's all clickbait. Be careful. Don't just read the headlines, because what's inside of each article is CRAP. Yes, Rose can spell.
Yes. Perfect. Of course she can. She benefited with that.
I mean, what was it? The last hurricane that hit Florida. And they had all that damage down there. And Biden goes down there to go talk to DeSantis and go talk to the people in Florida, find out, what do you need? What do you, what can we do for you? DeSantis refused to meet with the president of the United States when his state was in the midst of a natural disaster. Yep. What were the headlines on the newspaper?
Yeah,
the Biden administration refuses to meet with the governor of Florida. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I know. When did we check into opposite world? That's not what happened.
It's very the old Trump kind of playbook. State the opposite. Always state the opposite. So that's what they did. The playbook is Ron DeSantis in states, well, Biden wouldn't meet with me kind of thing. Yeah. It's always a lie, and it's always the opposite of what's true. So
yeah. Or figure out what it is that you're most guilty of and then
say it.
start accusing
Say
the
it.
other guy.
That's exactly what they
That's
do.
what he did. Yeah, I know exactly what he did. He did blah 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 blah, and this is who he talked to. And
Yeah. And what is that? Probably the Hitler playbook. I mean, I'm sorry, for entertainment purposes only, but
Well, and they just finally, after a year of investigating Biden and his documents,
yeah, let's talk about
decided
that.
that he hadn't done anything wrong. Duh.
yep.
I mean,
He's been in politics for over 50 years. Excuse me. He had some documents that related to his time in the Senate or his time as vice president. I mean, no, they found he didn't do anything wrong. Now, you know that the Republicans are just going to be pissed about that.
Do they even publicize it though? No, not really.
No.
They don't want to.
No, it's kind of a mention it at the, at the end of the article. Oh, by the way. Now, I was reading earlier before we came on that Trump has made it very clear, and he has told people what he intends to do if he is reelected. And if he is reelected, he's going after anybody and everybody who said a bad word or did a bad thing against him, perceived or real. He's coming to get you.
Yeah.
So, when they talk about, the Democrats are coming for your guns, the Democrats don't want your guns, but the Republicans want you to shut up. And that's one of the ways they can do it. Yeah.
Well, and they've had a lot of ex-prosecutors or lawyers or people that have been involved in the past that said if Trump was to get reelected, it is the end of democracy as we know it. And it would change the entire country. It would be the biggest mistake in our lifetime. I mean, it would be horrible if that was to happen.
Yeah. That's why we all, folks, need to get out and vote from this point forward.
And it's why
get out there.
Keep going.
Get out there and vote.
Yeah.
And we love you. You know that as Canadians, we love you. And if anything happens, we are going to let some of you come up here. Not all of you, just some of you. Just passing a basic history test is going to be one of the requirements.
Oh my God.
I may be first in line. If it was to go that way. I don't know if I could live through another 4 years.
I could not. It would be, I feel like Cleo, that it would be too much to have in your face all the time. You just couldn't deal with it. And
Barbara Streisand was on Colbert the other night. First interview she's done in a long time. She's got a book coming out.
Yeah.
And they started talking about politics, and he asked her, well, what are you going to do if Trump wins again? And she, without batting an eye, she said, move.
Yeah.
He said, where are you going to move to? She says, anywhere else but here.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, you go, Babs.
I think Cher said the same thing. Cher was just like, she goes, I can't. That Trump, it gave me an ulcer last time. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to see it on TV. You don't want to hear about it. It's just, no, you would have to move.
Well, and another reason, not just because they figured out a way to make more money, but another reason why college education has become so expensive was to price out people from being able to get a higher education.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I mean, yes, it was. Let's turn this over to our banker buddies, and we can all make a lot of money off of it. But at the same time, man, the prices went astronomical, and now you got people pissed off because Biden is forgiving student loans. Well, some of these kids come out of college and they will never be able to afford a car or a house or anything, because they will spend their entire lives paying off a student loan at ridiculous rates for education that costs. And I work in higher education, and I work at a state university, so we're cheap as opposed to a private university, which is not cheap. And it's still unbelievable how expensive it is.
Mhm.
I mean, I graduated high school in 79. I went to college for one semester after I graduated. I wish I would have stayed because to take 6 classes, it cost me $1,000 for one semester. That was classes, fees, books, everything. It was
Mhm.
$1,000, and which seemed expensive back then. But today, you would pay 10 to 15,000 just for one semester.
I spent 16,000 to go to a community college for 2 years.
Yeah,
That was-
imagine.
That was a long time ago, too.
I mean, that's a lot.
2006. Yeah, I mean, it
That's
just,
a lot.
of course, I had Pell Grants, so I didn't really care, but
Well, I had those
Well-
too, but I also had to take out loans when I went back to school 20 years later.
Mhm.
And I graduated in 2001, and I had borrowed 25,000. And by the time the pandemic hit, I owed 75,000.
oh my
Mm,
God.
Now you do the math on that. That's how high interest rates were for
wow,
student loans.
that's wrong.
And it's like you never catch up. I mean,
No,
all you do, you spend all your time just paying on the interest. And they just keep tacking on more and tacking on more. When I got that letter from the government, from the Office of Education saying your loan has been forgiven because you met all of these, check off marks. I can't even put into words how it made me feel to know that that was no longer over my head.
Yeah, what a relief.
Yeah.
It-
Thank
yeah.
goodness.
And
Yeah.
okay, let's see. Thomas said take out the quartet.
yeah.
Boehner, Taylor Green,
Boehner,
and
Taylor
Gates.
Green, Gates, and
And
Staples, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Laura Hammond has good point. I'm more disturbed by people who don't vote than the ones who vote Republican. Yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yes. Because a
Yeah.
good majority of people don't vote. And, I'm kind of the opinion that back in Sicily, when we were voting, if you're not participating and you're not part of the beginning, middle, and end, I don't want to hear anything you have to say after the fact.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to hear your complaints about so-and-so got in, so-and-so didn't get in. My first question is always, did you participate? Did you vote? Anything other than, of course I did. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. You are now part of the problem. You are the reason that I am now left to clean up a mess because people like you and people who think like you made it so. And I'm going to clean it up. You're going to benefit by my having to clean it up. And then next election cycle, you're probably going to do it again.
Yeah.
mhm.
So, yeah.
Well,
I
in,
Yeah,
in Washington State, we have mail-in ballots.
Yes.
And that's it makes it so easy. So I think we have a pretty good voter turnout. Plus, we're mainly a Democratic state in Western Washington,
Yes.
more kind of Republican in Eastern, but there's not a big population in Eastern Washington like there is in Western Washington. So we're a Democratic state. But yeah, when they started talking about you can't do mail-in voting, I'm like, what? Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
And they said, well, you can't prove things. Well, everything on every ballot that's sent out, it has a little barcode, and that barcode corresponds to you, your voter's registration, your address,
Yes.
whatever information they have on you.
Your
So
social
yes,
security
it's totally
number,
easy to figure out if
your
somebody.
mother's maiden name, your
Yeah,
date
it's
of
got
birth.
everything there. And they
And-
check all that to make sure you didn't vote twice and all that. Well, you can't
Exactly.
keep doing that when you
It's like,
have the barcode.
I have handicap voting because I'm handicapped. So I've always, for the last 20 years, I've been able to vote by mail just about everywhere I've lived. Because of our Democratic governor that we've had for the past 8 years, this past year and a half, we've now gone to online balloting. where all I have to do is log into the state's website, put in all of my personal information,
Yeah.
and it will spit out for me not only the ballot, but an explanation of all the questions on the ballot, who's running for each job, and a little bit about them. It's like you get a full breakdown of everything. And you can print it out, fill it out, sign it, slap a stamp on that sucker, and out the door it goes
Off it
through the
goes.
mail. You know?
Wow, I love that. I love that.
And but I'm waiting to see how fast it takes the new governor to get rid of it.
Oh, bummer.
He's not even
Yeah.
sworn in yet, and he's already undoing years of work by the previous governor to bring jobs in, renewable energy
Yeah.
jobs in and stuff. And because we got to give that money to the oil and gas people, so you'll have clean water full of petroleum.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that painted an image.
I
Oh
swear to God.
gosh.
Exactly. No, it.
And
You have no idea how important voting is until it's taken away from you and you no longer have a choice. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I wish I had, I wish I could have, I would have, all that kind of stuff. Don't fall for that. Don't go back there. Just vote,
Yeah.
vote straight up and down the ticket from your local crosswalk supervisor all the way
And
up to
for
president.
women, we
Everyone.
weren't even given the right to vote.
Yeah.
We had to fight for it.
God, I
We
forgot
had
about
to march for it. There were women that spent time in
Yeah.
prison because they stood up with a placard in their hand saying,
Yeah.
I deserve to vote.
right.
I mean,
When you realize what it took
Hi,
for women to
Michelle.
get to be able to vote, it's like you owe it to all the women before you, everyone out there, to go vote as a woman, as a female, and for them taking away our Roe v. Wade rights. We need to get in there and put people in who will reinstate and codify Roe v. Wade and make it a law that can never be removed. So yeah. And for those people who can't vote, I mean, we totally understand. There are some reasons why astrological tarot. Yeah, Michelle, I know there's reasons why, but for those who can, definitely get out there and do so. You have a responsibility to help this country that we all love survive its democracy. And so, yeah.
Debbie, as another Louisianian, go to the state website. I think it's la.gov or louisiana.gov. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But go to the state website. You can go in, you can input your information, your name, your date of birth, blah, 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 all that stuff. And it'll pull up. It has a portal you can go in and pull up, and it will give you your all of your vital information of what district you're in and all that stuff. And you can request a voter ID card through there. And for upcoming elections, they will have I think it's called What's on My Ballot or something like that, but you can click on it and it will give you like a PDF form you can download, or you can just read it at the moment. That will give you a breakdown of what's on the ballot,
and astrological tarot, thank you for mentioning that about Washington
Yes.
State. I was not aware of that. I didn't know there was a thing like that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I hear you, Froxy Roxy. I mean, yeah. I went to Catholic school too. So, and whether if it was Catholic school or regular school, I mean, back then, when I was a child and growing up,
Mhm.
that was the assumption was, that was the goal for women was you find a good man who's got a good job
Yeah.
and take care of you, and you give him lots of babies.
Really, that was something.
Take typing in high school so that you could get a job as a secretary. Do a little bit of shorthand if you can. You'll get an extra couple bucks. But you're only doing that until you find.
Till you get married.
While you play run from the boss around the
And
desk.
even when I was a child, I remember my mom worked and my dad worked, and I thought, oh, I'm kind of embarrassed. My mom works and no one else's moms work.
Yeah.
I thought, oh man, my mom's a rebel.
My brother and I was raised by a single mom. You know what I'm talking about.
I didn't know what was going on in the 60s before my time.
Oh man.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
My
No.
mom
the old
by herself
I was
in the
alive in the
60s.
60s. I was
Yeah.
alive and well.
I was too.
Yeah.
I graduated in the 60s from high school.
Oh, well, I have to say, it was a kind of a shocking thing that to think of all my schoolmates, like from elementary school on,
Yeah.
who have moms at home. My mom wasn't at home.
No, mine wasn't either. My
What
mom
was
was
that
working.
about? Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't understand that. And then I started feeling weird, like, am I the only one who has a mom?
I just started getting weird about it. Oh, my mom works. Oh God, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
But kids can make stuff up to be embarrassed about. I mean, if you were different,
Yeah.
embarrassed.
That's it.
But
Next
my mother
question up,
at the
ladies.
time.
Will DeSantis complete his term as governor of Florida?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
and he's up for re-election next November.
I don't know.
That would
But
be
I
nice.
know-
Let's see. Will DeSantis complete his term? Let's see here. Well,
I know he just got reelected, so
No,
But I
there's
don't know
something that's going
Florida
to come out
has.
about him.
I get a yes.
that he's going to complete his term.
Yes. It's
So
just
do-
getting stronger.
And you know, I went all the way out as far as I could go, and it's still saying I'm completing his term. Sorry, it really does.
I get the passing of time.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
Yeah,
Take
it's,
that. Take that anyway before. Well, mind you, though, if you look at the card, I don't know, maybe that's just me wishful thinking, but you see all those people that are in those inflatables,
Yeah,
and they end up going down the spiral, right? So each one of them, not only the one that's right there, but the other ones that are waiting, they're all going to go down in the spiral. And I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to say no, and that something is going to be coming out about him over the next 6 months that is really going to put a kibosh to him.
Well, I put a leap of faith, but I'm feeling like it's going to be on him a leap of faith as to whether he's able to stick it out or not. I think it's going to come down to a decision on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Do I stay or do I go? And then I pull the 6 of Wands, which says success. So success for him or success for the state? I mean, I spent half my childhood in Florida back when it was still a nice place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And they had one of the top education systems in the country. And I mean, it was a really great place to live. You know, they had lots of opportunities for people and whatnot. And then, I don't know, I had moved away. And then next thing I knew, I blinked and it was turned into this horrible place. It's like,
You know,
oh my God, what
Tilted
happened?
Seer is saying he's a Virgo. He isn't going to make it. Saturn is going to do him in.
and as soon as she said that, I was reading it and pulled the devil.
Oh,
He's
my
going to
goodness.
come into some sabotage. Some of his stuff is going to start showing up.
Yeah.
Here is, you know, the false knight trotting along with some sweet story in his ear. But what's really going to happen is he's going to meet his downfall of his
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would love it if it went that way. I would love
Me
that.
too. I like to tell the story that
Yeah.
way.
Even if it
Totally
is
on
a
board with being wrong on some things. Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's.
Okay. Another question we had, and we're right at 1 hour, so this would probably wrap it up for everybody. I mean, unless y'all want to look for one or two more questions. I'll leave that up to you, but I know I'm tired. I'm sure everybody else
Yeah,
is.
you are tired.
The Biden impeachment is just about the most ridiculous thing. Oh,
Yeah.
well, no, wait a minute. We're talking about Republicans. Shoot, there's just so many ridiculous things. But yeah, this thing about impeaching Biden, it's so
Yeah.
childish. It's like you wanted to impeach
Yeah.
Trump. And so they
Yeah.
did it twice. We impeached Trump twice, but it
Yeah.
didn't go through. But anyway, they're just doing it because of Trump.
Well,
There's
and I love
really
the
no
fact that,
impeachment of Biden.
that
Well, this is the
Hunter
outcome.
Biden-
The outcome of for Biden. He's got nothing to worry about.
No.
The no thing. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, they are looking for him to be the next sacrifice. Like that's what they think they're going to do. Blood sacrifice. Yeah. That you got our guy. We'll get your guy. There is nothing there to get him on.
Right.
They have
they're
admitted that they
they're
have
hoping to birth
nothing.
something into
Yeah.
being,
Yeah. There's no there.
No. No, none.
No, and I think Hunter Biden pulled a brilliant move
Terminology.
yesterday. He filed charges against Trump and 3 other people, Barr and Giuliani and somebody else, and has actually had them issued subpoenas
Oh,
to show up and testify of where is your proof that he did all this stuff.
excellent.
Nice.
I love it.
And
I love
so
it. Yeah.
to be continued.
Yeah. As it should be. Yeah.
What about you, Leo? What you think?
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's just all smoke and mirrors, innuendo, stories. There's no hard evidence of anything. So as I played the cards out, I got stability. I got new beginnings for Hunter and the Emperor. So I feel like he is going to be, he's going to be in a great position. Oh, wait a minute. This card came up again.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's not good because you know what it came up with? Oh, man.
Oh,
Some things that he might have to worry about. Oh, gosh. Darn it.
I keep going back to when Matt Gaetz, when he made that speech that he didn't realize was being taped.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, no, we have nothing against Biden.
Yes,
And
exactly.
we don't really have anything against Hunter either, but we can use him to get to his father.
Oh, well.
That's
Oh.
all they're doing. Yeah, is just make a lot of noise about, look, Hunter, and in a way to present
Well, I hope Hunter
Biden
doesn't,
in a bad light.
I hope Hunter doesn't go back into his addictions,
Well, I think that's President Biden's biggest concern.
because I pulled up that devil card, meaning, he could find himself.
Yeah.
I think that's his
out.
family's biggest concern, that the stress of all of this, and this is just what somebody who's a recovering addict, alcoholic, whatever,
It's like an excuse
you
to do
don't
something.
need to be like
Yeah.
just jam-packed, to have your face shoved back into the most
Yeah.
stressful thing imaginable
Yeah.
as you're trying to overcome all of this stuff. It's like they're
Yeah.
trying to make him go back and get.
See,
I
we
know.
told you all along he was nothing but a druggie.
Yep.
We knew it, didn't we tell you?
Yep. Meanwhile,
Okay.
their guy is allegedly
Yeah,
stolen Adderall.
Yep.
It's just the
Yeah. It's
whole hidden but out there right in your face. Why isn't everybody saying anything about it? It's just the Adderall, the unbelievable lies that from everyone, the ridiculous. Everybody knows all this stuff is going on. It's in your face, yet nobody speaks about it. So,
Well, how about the fact that he on air admitted to grabbing women by their
yes.
private parts?
Well,
and
it wasn't on air on purpose, but yes, I mean, it was
Yeah.
on that bus being interviewed by the now defunct interviewer. I can't even think of his name anymore.
he's part of the Bush
Billy
plan.
Bush.
He's one of
Billy
the,
Bush.
one of
Billy
the
Bush was taping him unbeknownst to him.
Yeah.
And that was what happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had Papa Bush and Junior Bush and Jeb Bush that were all in politics, and all the kids seem to have all gone directly into the entertainment industry or the news industry.
Yeah.
So, it's like none of them wanted to do anything with politics, but by golly, they're going to report on
Well,
it.
it's the same thing now. If you look at the way things are going,
Yeah.
politics or entertainment, the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, they say
I
that's
don't
one of
know
the
how they
reasons
live
why
with this.
JFK did so well with his election was because the debate that he had with Nixon was on TV, and that was a first.
They
He's
said
a
they
young-
put makeup on Kennedy, and Nixon needed a shave. So Nixon looked like a criminal, and Kennedy looked like some glowing Adonis.
Yeah, I mean, this good-looking man that seems
really
to have it
so.
all together, and you got this other guy that looks like a thug from the other side of the track.
Nixon was a prize debater, some huge, unbelievable ability to debate, and would run rings around anyone. And he's also a genius, really, very much so they say. But Kennedy was able to just, with his charm and personality, and his looks,
very, very polished, very polished.
Yeah.
Well, Nixon had always been Tricky Dick. So.
Tricky Dick. That's what I grew up. My parents said, "Oh, we can't let Tricky Dick win," so they voted for Kennedy. We can't let Barry Goldwater win. We can't let Nixon win. Oh, we can't let Herbert Hoover in. I mean, there's all these criminals. And my parents were Republican, but they were the normal Republicans. They were when Republicans.
But back then, Republicans were more like the Democrats are today, and the Democrats were more like the Republicans.
I mean, they would have marched in the civil rights. That's how Republican they were. I mean, they were really quite democratic.
My mother was a martyr. Yeah, I mean, equal rights, civil rights, women's rights, gay rights. I mean, she was very, very much against anybody being mistreated because of how they looked or what they believed or who they prayed to or who they wanted to go to bed with or,
they believe your civil liberties should not be touched. Anything related to you personally, your body, what you do, how you believe, any of that should be your own sacred.
Yeah.
You're a sovereign being. So, totally. They'd be like, I'm sure
you're not hurting somebody else, then,
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm going to have to cut out on you because
it's an hour and 9 minutes and I am drooping fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know the rest of you are
finding
too.
Is my eyes are going crossed and my head is looking for the pillow. I know it's there.
Somewhere. It's I got a bed somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's behind me. I just got to roll backwards.
There you go.
Thanks, you guys. This has been a lot of fun, and thanks to the
Thank
chat
you,
over here
ladies.
with the great questions and information. And
back in
Absolutely.
2 weeks. And whose turn is it in 2 weeks?
Val.
Oh,
Val?
it's
Val
Val.
is
You're gonna
on
have to
the 30th.
Oh man.
Yay.
Val. Okay, the 30th. Hosting.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yep, I got it down.
The week of the 27th, because we're not doing anything next week, but yeah, the week of the 27th, Val is going to be you're going to be doing a lot of TV or a lot of shows because you're hosting Sisters of the Mystical Tarot.
Mhm.
You're
And
hosting
Golden Girls.
episode 51 of Messages for Lightworkers.
Mhm.
And you're hosting Golden Girls Coffee Klatch.
Oh man, you guys hit me up.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Good to
that
know.
is it. It's going to be.
It's going to be
Hi,
my
my name's
week.
Mel. Welcome to my show.
It's just funny, Marie, that those shows all hit when it always happens. It lines up. I'm like,
I know.
Oh, and on Sunday the 26th for Juno and I, our regular every other Sunday that we do, we're
Yeah.
also, it's her birthday, like in the next day or two after. So we're going to have a
Okay.
birthday party. So
Perfect.
y'all be sure to come
Oh
by.
my
and wish
God!
her happy
I
birthday.
just looked up and it said 1-1-1-1-1.
Oh, wow.
It just went past that already. But
That's a sign.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Love, love,
Bye, y'all. Thank you for coming.